Hi, this is Amrita from bizasianlive.com, and I have the absolute pleasure to be sitting with one of the industry legends, I would say, Mr. Saif Ali Khan in London, here for Sacred Games. Hi, Saif, how are you?
Hello, very well, thank you.
That's very good. I should say welcome to London, but you're here quite often, aren't you?
Well, welcome to London again.
Of course, always welcome to London. So, as I said, you're here promoting Sacred Games, which I've had the privilege of watching the first two episodes for, and it's absolutely brilliant. I have to ask, what kind of drew you to the role?
Well, the role itself, I think, is a very sympathetic one. It's something that, when I read it, I felt quite bad for the guy. He's an outsider and a kind of a. He's the only Sikh Sardar in the unit, which just kind of highlights the fact that he's also the only honest kind of cop around. Everyone else is taking bribes and, getting by, telling lies, doing all kinds of things. He's got an anger management problem. I think he chews sleeping pills to just kind of, like chewing gum, just to kind of stay calm. So I feel bad for this person. He hasn't solved a constructive case in 20 years. Some pickpocket, Sonu Paketmar is the only guy who he's been credited for arresting. He made a mess of his marriage. He's made a mess of his, he doesn't have too many friends. He drinks a bit too much. He's a bit out of shape, and he's just, not going anywhere special. Lives alone, and he feels very out of place with everything that's going on. And then, one day, one of the most dreaded gangsters in the history of Indian crime rings him up on the phone and gives him some pretty vital information about some impending disaster, and gives him clues as to how, and nobody can believe, like, why is he getting the phone call? Least of all himself. I mean, he doesn't understand either. And how he manages to activate himself and, become a bit of a hero is kind of what drew me. So what drew me to it was that role, the wonderful writing of Vikram Chandra in that great book, Sacred Games. He really writes really well. He's got some great prose. But his book, as most books, happen in the character's head, So a screenplay was required to make the character a little less passive, which changed things somewhat. And most importantly, I think the fact that Netflix is producing this is what drew us to it. And it's the first original coming out of India, so very prestigious, something that's on a global platform. It's a premium show that we were very excited to be part of. Even Phantom Films put their best foot forward with the best directors they had, Anurag and Vikram directing, which was cool that they didn't get, some junior guys to say, okay, where's a foray into the web, so, where the film, like a lot of production houses have done that. They've got some of their assistants or some of their junior chaps to direct their shows. Here, it's the best talent we could find in terms of acting, art decoration, music, the works. And I'm really happy we approached it that way, because it's going to be the best show coming out of India, I feel.
I think I agree with you there. Just by watching the first two episodes. Now, obviously, you've changed your look slightly to play this character. Were you apprehensive at all about that?
Not really, and in fact I was really happy playing a Sardar, because it gets really hot in Bombay and I sweat a lot. It sounds very unattractive, but and then I get a little het up that, my hair's wet. So if I had a turban on, then half my problems have disappeared. I don't care. Then you put me anywhere and shoot whatever you want. So I'm the easiest guy to work with, either with a buzz cut like Omkar, or with a turban on, or with a wig of some sort. But this current look is for Navdeep Singh's film. They clip a beard onto this. And he told me I have to pierce my ears because it's got some action in it and some sword fighting. And he said your earrings will fall off every time you move your head. So I pierced my ears and turned up, and he said, oh, I wasn't serious. He said, I just said that to see how committed you were to the project. So
you are committed then?
I guess.
Okay. So obviously you're the first kind of mainstream actor who's in obviously the first Indian original on Netflix. Do you think that's a matter of pride for you, and do you think other actors will follow?
Well, it's a great platform, and there's something different about this to TV, which is sponsor ruled and not very free. I mean, you're constrained in what you do, censored. And this is an opportunity to be quite artistic and a little edgy, like how a graphic novel is, to a comic. Let's say TV is like comics, graphic novels, something a little edgier, a little. There's something intimate about the communication between the screen and the viewer. I think it's best watched with headphones, that kind of thing, and it's a different form. It's the modern form, and it's a Netflix universe today. And I think all actors should, and I don't see why they won't. Apart from anything else, I mean, it's premium stuff. I mean, there's no come down to it. It's not like you're, doing something that's smaller in any way to movies in terms of idea and in any way.
Of course. I've got to ask, obviously, as you just explained, it's a different kind of platform to kind of being a censorship kind of oriented platform. Were you sort of a little bit uncertain about the expletives at all?
No, while there isn't any censorship, I think we've been quite careful not to be gratuitous because, there's shows on Netflix like, I've just gone blank, hang on, Stranger Things, which is like a family show, everyone's watching that. So I think as good producers and us as kind of responsible actors have also learned that it doesn't solve anything or doesn't get us anywhere to just use bad language for the sake of that. But if you are showing mafia guys being nasty, I mean, they're not going to say, please, thank you very much. And, manners maketh man is not a maxim that applies. Yes. So to be authentic is the idea, and to support the right kind of stories. So we make all kinds of stories. Some of them are a bit more violent than others. But even within that, I mean, we don't want to put people off or to, we want it to seem seamless. When you watch it, you say, oh, that's quite normal. And that's the idea. You would have thought, there's a lot of censorship. But even though they're being better and they're being more reasonable, and it's good, we fought for it. And, censor board, even for movies, is being a bit of a process, but at least they're being reasonable.
Yes, of course. And judging by the first 2 episodes, and I know there is more than one season coming, the kind of actors, I've been told that by another actor who's in this, the kind of actors that you are getting to work with in Sacred Games, is there anything you'd like to say about that? Because obviously there are characters that can come and go within that.
Like sometimes acting in movies gets a little stylistic in terms of there's certain types of acting throughout the decades. Like you see, from the 80s, 90s, things change slowly, subtly. It's quite a modern era now. And one of the things that when you get to work with these guys, they're very international in their approach and how natural. So the more work you do and the more exposed you are to different styles of acting, and on a global platform like this where, you can afford to be as natural as possible or, tell the story in an international way, it's great because there's some fantastic actors out there that probably wouldn't have been highlighted if it had just been the same old Bollywood lot. It's a really small industry with few character actors, few heroes, heroines. But here, I think they're even more talented, and some really interesting character actors out there who we're learning from all the time.
Of course. Now, on social media, there has been quite a buzz around Sacred Games ever since the first looks and the trailers have come out. What would you say is the one thing that audiences should definitely look forward to, apart from yourself, for Sacred Games?
I always thought a great story that's quite international about India would be something to do with the mafia and how there's a romance to how doomed these guys are, and how they need these incredible survival skills to just get out of the squalor that is their life. And there's something romantic about that in a dark way. There's a tragic kind of heroism in that. There's an anti-heroism, really. And I just thought that a cop mafia story would be the way to go because of the incredible police system. There's things that happen in India that would shock the world. I mean, it's quite normal to bash up a prisoner and say, tell me where you were yesterday, and give him 5 slaps. I don't think you're allowed to do that in most countries. So people say, wow, Does that happen? Or just general, just a kind of regular day in a cop's life would blow people's minds, I think. So I think there's a lot of that has come through in the show. And I think there's much more. I hope, we're just on the tip of the iceberg. There's much more we could do.
Of course, absolutely. And I'll have to wrap it up there, I'm afraid. It's been lovely talking to you, sir. And I'm looking forward to the forthcoming episodes of Sacred Games, past the 2 that I've seen, of course.
Yes. I haven't seen all of them either.
Why not?
To see them. I think we're still, when I left, they were putting final touches on various things. I saw 3 episodes, which were great.
I'm sure it will definitely be a success with the audiences.
That'd be nice.
No, definitely.
So I'm already hearing nice things from you all, so that's good.
Absolutely. So that was the legendary Saif Ali Khan talking about sacred. He's legendary. Talking about Sacred Games, and this is Amrita from BizAsiaLive.com signing out.